Hey, it's finally alive. Welcome back. This is now the time we can rebuild the body, add back in all the parts that we need. I've got some rubber hose here I've cut to 10mm lengths, and they're going to act as springs to hold up the pickup at the right height. I've also 3D printed some clamps to allow me to build up the frame. These are designed to screw it in the body and then allow the legs to clamp onto them. I've fitted the guitar with strings, and I did find someone selling these on eBay. Now, eBay is probably not the best place to buy strings, but these were new and sealed, so I did get a good deal. One interesting thing the strings does is it actually states the tension required to create the tuning of each string. Now, if I had this initially, I could have used this to design the loads and sized the bridge accordingly, just to make sure that it's strong enough. For now, that is an interesting point because you can actually see that the studded bar is bending quite a bit. So I don't think this is going to work as planned. So we really want this to be a straight line so that when we use a slide, which is also a straight line, it keeps everything the same length. If this is curved, as we slide up and down, we're going to have different ratios of that. Now it's probably only small, but yeah, I don't want that. But what is ideal is that the skate bearings we used has a 20mm OD and an 8mm ID, but there's also a bearing size that has the 22mm OD but has a 10mm ID. So without actually changing the fingers, we can switch bearings and actually put a bigger studded bar in. I've also 3D printed a frame just to go around the pickup to make it look nice and clean. There is a crack on the top and it doesn't look great, but there are going to be some electronic controls going there, so I'm not too worried about that. So these are the 3D printed parts that clamp onto the legs. For the legs I found that some brushed steel tube at a local hardware store, and this came in 2m lengths, so 2 lots of that, and that's more than enough for this pedal steel. I've printed some end caps that are nice and round, so just hopefully gives it a nice contact with the ground. The large green part here actually screws into the end of the body, so that should hold together the body and stop that crack growing anymore. There's plenty of screws in there. But yeah, we still need to drill each of these bridge plates, and I'm going to do that while it's on because it isn't really going to be an issue. And next I need to go through each of the fingers and replace the bearings. I think there's a lesson learned for next time, but considering how complicated these instruments are, I don't think it's too bad. And thankfully I don't have to remove all the strings to do this, I just need to loosen these. So that doesn't really make it too timely a job for me to switch the bearings. To help hold the string fingers central, I'm going to pack each side with washers, and that allows me to give it a millimetre or so tolerance control of where each finger sits. The bar still has a small amount of bend, but it's so much straighter than it was before. Now, this is all tightened up, and this is getting exciting. So if we flip the guitar over, we can see the underside, and these brackets each side of the fingers allow us to control the range of motion for each finger. So the plan will be to use only tension and to only add tension to the strings at the minute. And I'm going to do that by using like a bicycle style cable. And we've drilled a hole through the finger, and this can thread through the finger and then also go through that bracket. And as we pull the center cable, it pushes against the bracket and pulls the two together, adding tension to the string and increasing the pitch. We can add a bolt to this, and this allows that range of motion to be controlled so we can go exactly to a set note, and that removes a lot of the control and finesse of the instrument. Imagine if you're playing it with like lots of reverb, or if you're playing it silently and bringing the volume pedal up, you're not going to be able to tell what note you're at. So having the ability to dial in where the bend points are, I think is essential. But do tell me if I'm wrong. So let's get the legs on. So for this end, I've clamped the bolts with the 2 3D printed shapes. The end plate is screwed in the end of the body, and the plate that bolts on will be screwed together, and that holds the legs together, and it'll also be screwed into the body, so it should create a really secure, sturdy frame. Well, that's a dream anyway. Due to the design of the headstock, we've got a little bit of an issue here of how do we attach something to the end or something slightly further in. And because of the shape, I'm just going to move it slightly further in. So one of the final things we need to attach is this angle line. Now I've drilled 10 holes along the length of this and tapped them for a bicycle cable barrel adjuster to connect. And this allows any free player to be taken up and adjusted for. Alright, this is really getting close. So I am getting a little hasty making this and maybe not filming and explaining everything here. But here's the pedal design. And we've got a long piece that's going to act as a pedal, and that's an aluminium square section. And on each side I've got smaller aluminium square sections, and they're going to act as like an offset. These are going to bolt to the angle iron, and as we press the pedal, where that hole was, we can bolt the cable to the pedal, and as the pedal moves down, it's just going to pull that inner cable through. I have no idea on the range of motion required, so I am guessing quite a bit here and working in the dark, but I think we've got a good place to stop here, where next time I think we're going to look at how it actually works, how we set it up, and then I probably need to talk about some of the maths and how we're going to work out where the different notes are, and then we're going to be able to try and play this. We'll try and play it to a song. But please do subscribe, comment, let me know what you think of the progress. It does make a big difference to the channel, clicking that subscribe button and sharing this. But yeah, hope you have a good week and appreciate anyone that got this far. Thank you.